Alright guys, so today we are on public land. It's actually a new piece that I've been to a couple times. Hunted this blind, ran into a few bucks on those hunts. It's a smaller piece while we're in this corner, and then as we make our way through, it's going to end up getting really big, but it's just going to essentially be swamp once we get that way. We're going to run into this patch of timber. This is where I've been seeing all these bucks when I come in here blind. So essentially going to go to where I've seen all of that travel and then where they were heading to, and see if we can't find the bedding area back there, scrapes, rubs, whatever we're looking for, to see where we want to set up at, find our tree, and then keep on keeping on. I'm excited today. It's real nice. We're already wet. Alright, we're doing this.
Here goes nothing. Good way to start the trip. I think I'm already taking on water.
Oh, yeah, I can see you.
Yep. What are you waiting for, champ?
Right in the eyes. Oh!
The longer you wait, the colder it gets. This is probably the nicest weather for a scouting day we've had yet. It wasn't too bad. Now to get through this crazy muck. Yeah. We gotta go ride it. Water, the sketchy part this is. Keep moving. Yeah, get stuck. Oh my god. See a deer track right there. Just getting started. My feet are gonna stink tonight.
Every time I come in the morning time, it's actually super dark, but I head this way, and then we're gonna hit like a trail that runs the edge of like a cornfield. We're gonna that's pressure.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
That's a nice. Absolutely. That was nice to see. That means he's here right now, which means he was here during late season.
See, it's thicker already.
A little tractor. Alright, well, just gotta keep that in mind, but we're back here. Maybe plan to put a camera up somewhere where you'd be able to catch deer traffic and hunter traffic, and see when he's in here.
There's a new historical right there.
This is that corner I was talking about. So every time I've came in here, I followed this exact path in, and I always wrap up and hit this corner, and then I follow that tree line in, and then come in a little bit. And we should be able to find there's like an intersection. I've always sat that intersection.
Right next to it too.
Right behind it.
Look at that.
These three.
Oh, I didn't even notice that one.
Here, right here. You know what? Those rubs are from early season. There's a path that
Historical
leads right.
going that way too.
Yep, there's a path that leads right to where we just came from. And all he's got to do is, if he's laying in here.
Let's see. Going out that way too.
Everything just meets up. There's a trail here. Pitch out that way, trail there. It's nice. Definitely from last season. It looks early.
Walk into
It makes sense for all that sign to be here too, because if everything meets up here, he's going to want to let everything know. hunting this pocket, and probably there's a pocket over there that he's hunting. Depends on how close his stand is whenever we find the bedding. You know, mature, like how open this is right here.
Yeah.
A mature buck isn't gonna feel too comfortable trying to walk through here during shooting hours. He's gonna stay back in his bedding, feet around his bedding, and he'll probably hit this area when it's like last light. You know what I mean? Might not even have time to shoot him at that point.
Yeah.
So if we can find where the bedding is and the first opportunity to get to him before this spot, then I'd still be interested in this. But like I said, it's just pretty, it's
push it a little closer.
Yeah, it's pretty small to try to hunt this with somebody else hunting. Yeah, look at all this food around here. So they probably stage here before they get out into the ag field, and they eat and feed around in here until last light. We might be on a good spot. We'll see. Yeah, nice try. There's a rub.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Let's go that.
They're tucking up right against this. It's a nicer one too.
Yeah. This is all rubbed up. This is a nice one. A little bit on this side, a lot on this side. That's early season. Nice trap from here. And it looks like it might open up here, so if it does open up, this is where I'd like to set up at, because we're getting close to the river pinch here, where it's going to come down to a point. But at this point in the hunt, this is where you got to be super quiet, making your way back here.
Oh, we're crawling.
This is where I would hunt at. We're still going to scout this out, but this is where I'm right now going to key in on. This might be too close depending on where we find the sign at. And if that's the case, it's that next step back there that I originally said, right where that dip was. There's a trap going this way as well. Matter of fact, we should just hop up there, because if they're going to bed in this thick, like this perimeter here.
Yep.
So let's hop up there.
I agree.
Knowing that this is open. That's what we were looking for this whole time, though. Something that indicates where they're in. The only reason a buck would be right here, laying down this rub. If you look behind us, we're surrounded by water. We're right on the tip of this peninsula, right on the tip. He's bedding right here. He made the mistake of letting us know. So now we need to backtrack. He's obviously going to come through this week. There's no reason for him to go. I mean, yeah, there's egg over here across the water, so if he wants to do that, he can.
He's got an escape route that way.
But let's follow this back out. I'm gonna mark this. Follow it back out and see where the first place we can set up at. I mean, sitting right here, if his beds are like just in this general area, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna look out. He's got a wall of thick in front of him. So once we get past this little wall of thick, it's essentially trying to find the right tree and figuring out what trail he's gonna come out of here on and trying to capitalize on that. Knowing that this is his bedding area, or a bedding area in general for a buck, where that stand that I was talking about, it's too far away. If this guy gets up right here, a half an hour to 20 minutes before dark, he's not, a mature buck's not gonna make it that far.
It's gonna be at probably about an hour.
Yeah. So remember that opening I was just talking about?
Yeah.
That might be it.
Yeah.
Once we get it in there. Back in there. Probably where a buck would walk through. Alright, so we just found that bedding area back there. Had a nice rub in it, indicates that back on that peninsula is where that buck bedding is at. There's multiple beds back there. It could be one just shifting around. It could be multiple bucks depending on the time of season that they're bedding in there. But we do know for sure that they're going to be bedding in there when there's cover, just because if you're kayaking down this creek, you possibly could see them in there, and there was just too much sunlight beaming down in there for them to want to bed in the sun all day. So I'm gonna say that it's definitely early season that they're in there. So we followed this out, tried to pick the trail that a buck would use, one that's not too thick. They can still get their antlers through and still be quiet weaving through here. We're probably, I'd say 60-70 yards away from the beds right now. I think that's perfect enough to try to get in here. We don't have to walk like we did when we access into here. We can actually just kayak right down the creek, maybe hop up you know, 20 yards from here, and then work our way into here so he doesn't hear us getting out of our kayaks if anything does dink or doink or anything weird like that. But get into here. This is the first tree that I found that gives us enough shooting opportunity. The only thing we're gonna wanna have to come back and check is to see how thick this gets from now until the opening of season. So if we come back in here in July and get an idea of, okay, it's pretty thick, this might not be the tree, then we can kind of decipher where we would want to sit from that. But right now, this is the tree. I'd probably get up right where it starts to curve over just to get out of their vision as he's working through here. It's going to be a close range shot, which is good anyway. But right now, this is the tree. We would do this on a wind that would be kicking off into the river or kicking back towards the axis that we came back. Nothing that's going to be blowing towards that bedding area. So I'm excited. I'm gonna mark this, get a plan on getting a camera in here, and just sitting back and seeing what we get, man. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, here's a nice rub.
See, I keep on walking by like a rookie.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah. Bet you he beds already, dude.
Yeah, that hole you were about to crawl into, I'm sure. Or maybe right here.
That hole's perfect. Yeah,
I'd say that.
This is snapped off.
It's definitely over here.
There's another little pocket back there too. That's where we came out of right there. That's where the bedding is at.
Okay. So there's another one here.
Yeah, this is early season when they're grouped up, bachelored up.
Buck nest 2.0.
Yeah. So yeah, look, this is all rubbed up, all the way down, snapped off. That's early season. It's all gray.
Yeah, that one is too.
So dude. So if this is where this bed's at, where's that tree at? Way over there. You'd still be able to be quiet enough. Oh, that's rubbed up for sure, dude. Look at it.
Oh yeah. It's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Alright guys, so just got done with this smaller chunk. It's actually a piece that just runs right on the edge of a creek, and then there's just ag that surrounds it. All of the sign that we found essentially runs back into the point that sticks out. It's kind of a peninsula that sticks out onto this creek. Good sign, some decent buck rubs, indicates that there's some good sized bucks using this. The only issue is that we have found 2 stands in here, and it's a pretty small area to try to hunt this with 2 other people. So with the sign we found and the bedding area that we found on that peninsula, I'm still interested in putting a camera in here, possibly 2. One that tells me when the bucks are coming in here, when they're using that bedding area, and then the other one that tells me when there's hunters using this. Because if I can figure out when they're hunting this, I would like to hunt around that. There's sign in here, so there's bucks using this. There's a bunch of tracks, fresh tracks in here right now. So they're comfortable using this, and I'm willing to bet that if those hunters are lazy enough to leave their stands and all the gear that was strapped to the stands, that they're probably lazy on their access and their exit. So keep this in mind, keep an eye on it with the cameras, and go from there.